All right, check out our new sponsor, Greenwood Stocks. They want you to know how to be able to trade stocks and be your own boss and be free to travel the world by making passive income. We all need that passive income from stock market. What are you waiting for? Call or text 281-760-3170. If you didn't catch that, that's on your screen. Or check them out at social media, Greenwood Stocks, and catch them at Gmail, greenwoodstocktrading at Gmail, and the YouTube channel is Greenwood Stocks. Appreciate them for giving me the opportunity. Check them out. We out. All right, man, the blowout loss to the Los Angeles Clippers. Anthony Davis hurt his ankle, but then said the real issue was his back locking up. Let's talk about it. Check out the NBA Talk playlist. Keep sharing the videos. Still appreciate everybody supporting the channel. Read from ESPN. Anthony Davis was ruled out in the second half of Thursday game against the Clippers. 118-94 loss because of the back spasm, giving Los Angeles Lakers 2 stars, along with LeBron James, who made their return from a long-term injury only to go back on the mend with the regular season quickly slipping away. The loss, their 7th in the past 9 games, dropped the Lakers to 37-29, identical to the Portland Trail Blazers, who LA plays Friday. The Lakers are seeded number 6 ahead of Portland, which currently occupies a play-in tournament slot at number 7. Even though the teams are 1-1 in their season series so far, the Lakers hold the tiebreaker because they had a better record versus Western Conference opponents. Davis played in 8 games since missing 9 weeks because of a calf strain Achilles tendons in his right leg. Played 9 minutes before points on 2 of 9 shooting and 1 rebound. The Clippers outscored the Lakers by 10 at the time Davis was on the court. Davis exited the game with 2 minutes and 57 seconds remaining in the first quarter and did not return. He was evaluated by team medical staff during the second quarter before the team announced shortly after the third quarter began he would not return. Davis tweaked his ankle after backpedaling to the video board on the sideline following the 3-point attempt in the first quarter, but he said the real issue was his back. The back locked up pretty bad. Davis was expected to play against, he said he expected to play against the Blazers in what he dubbed probably the biggest game out of the 6 days remaining on the Lakers' regular schedule. Quote, "I think we've just got to win the game for real. Lakers forward Kyle Kuzma said. Even with Davis in the lineup, the LA will be undermanned against a hot Blazer team coming off 5-1 trip that accumulated with 36-point win in Cleveland on Wednesday. Then Schroeder is out at least another week because of the league's health and safety protocol. Taylor Horton Tucker has been ruled out with a calf strain, and then there's James, LA's 4-time Finals MVP, who won't even make the trip. James, who played 2 games last week after returning from a high ankle sprain before needing to leave the lineup the past 2 games to continue to rehab. Lakers coach Frank Vogel said James would also miss the Blazers game at minimum. James was not on the bench Thursday night for Monday night win against the Denver Nuggets. When Vogel was asked if James' absence was medically related, he replied, no. When another reporter followed up asking why James wasn't present, Vogel said he's just not there before mentioning James did accompany the team at Thursday's shoot-around. Both of James' absences were considered to be excused by Lakers to allow James to stay off the ankle. The source acknowledged the situation, told ESPN. A loss Friday would put the Lakers in the 7th spot with full game behind Portland. Just 5 games left to play. The Lakers and Blazers both have Phoenix Suns, Houston on their remaining schedule. LA's other 3 games, the Knicks, the Pacers, the Pelicans, have a combined record of 98 and 500. Portland, other 3 opponents, San Antonio, Utah, and Denver, have a combined 123 and 74 winning percentage. Davis initially went so far to say that the Lakers could use the play-in tournament. I mean, we don't look at it something bad Davis out. To be honest, we need a lot of games. We need games to get us back accustomed to each other. LeBron crying about it. In the next breath, however, he walked back to his comments somewhat. Obviously, we don't want to go that route, he said, but if it happens, it happens. We're going to win games in the play-in tournament and then get ready, whoever we play in the first round, and take care of the business from there. So we look at it as game reps in the play-in. And if not, then we get a little bit of more practice time to get accustomed to each other. So either way, we're fine with it. You know, Markieff Morris didn't entertain the thought. I think I've said it before. We wasn't thinking about we're thinking about damn playing game more. Said if it happens, it happens. If you're healthy, I would want to avoid us. If I was the top 2 teams, you know, it is what it is. You know, ultimately, what it boils down to is LeBron getting older, and Anthony Davis is just injury prone. He don't want to be considered a center, but have you seen a power forward? Even KG was lighter than him, and he wasn't even the younger KG. But his whole career shit he was thin. He wasn't on the floor as much as Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is the most fragile big man. You ask yourself why he don't get in the weight room. Over the career, he seemed to kind of put on some muscle. The muscle is to be the armor to protect your bones and ligaments. You ask yourself why they never really picked up the weight or just did what Dwight Howard did. Why they get him on a high protein, diet and just a lot of lifting. You don't got to be heavy. But ultimately this was the concern. And last year they was able to get away with it, but they had to travel. And it was fast. The Lakers wouldn't have won the championship last year. Simple as that. The Clippers had their numbers. And ultimately, it was what it was. But, he said, I guess he grabbed his ankle, but it was his back. Are we going to believe that? Who knows? When they play Friday, Portland, we'll see. But ultimately, you pull up the standings. You pull it up. It don't matter. Like I said, the Lakers are not 100% now. Could they turn the switch on? Yeah, they're champions. Even though they're fraudulent champions because they turn the switch on. But really, if I was them, I'd be trying to avoid Phoenix. Because one, they have no answer for Devin Booker. Two, they have no answer for Chris Paul. But right now, they 6. And really, you look at it, you blame the Trailblazers. That's the team you got to blame. You got to blame the Trailblazers, And I say you blame the Trailblazers simply because, they should have won more games and Lakers would have been locked in that 7th spot. When McCollum came back, Damian Lillard fell off. So, one thing about the Trailblazers, it may be time for them to break that ish up. Honestly, it may be time for them to break that up. Seriously, it may be time for them to say, you know what? It's time. It's time for us to go another direction. Honestly, they might have to say that. For real, because, you look at their roster, just ain't cutting it. Add Carmelo a little bit too late. McCollum and Lillard can't stop nobody in the backcourt. Honestly, it's time to blow it up, to be honest. Damian Lillard may not want to move on. He might, want to do it. But he don't mean he got to go to a super team. You put him with the Knicks and Julius Randle. It is what it is. They need to move on. Even Nurkic, they need to move on from these guys. Because they wings give them nothing. Carmelo giving them what he good. But when you look at Derrick Jones, and it's time for them to move on. This should be the last season that we've seen the Portland Trailblazers, together. It's time for Lillard, however old Damian Lillard is, it's time for him to get out of there. Lillard, 30 years old. Peaking. But we'll see. That's going to be probably one of the best. It's probably going to be one of the best, probably going to be one of the best games you're going to see all year. They fighting for their playoff lives. They're not being the playoff tournament. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. All our social media links in the description. Twitter's the pathway, then Facebook, then Instagram. All my links there. Facebook group link there as well too. Want to make a donation? Cash App, PayPal in the description. Best way to donate. Share the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Check out the NBA Talk playlist. Peace.